This episode is sponsored by quality and innovative Game Bore cartridges. Game Bore shot shells are the choice of world champion David Radulovich and 26 times world champion George Digweed MBE. White Gold and Dark Storm contain precision-made diamond shot, manufactured exclusively in England, and coupled with high-performance smooth velocities, providing less felt recoil. If you're serious about your scores, you have to shoot with the best. When every clay counts, make sure you never compromise. Game Bore is the most decorated FITASC and sporting clay shot shells in the sport's history. Available now throughout the U.S., exclusively from KL Ammo. Find them online at www.gameborus.com. Game Bore are simply the champion's choice. Welcome to the Dead Pair Podcast with your hosts, Jason Rambo and Sean Alley. We bring you all things sporting clays. Our focus is bringing new shooters to the sport and helping all shooters by giving you the most useful info from coaches, pro shooters, gun clubs, product and service specialists. The Dead Pair Podcast, what every shotgun shooter wants to hear.
Paul?
Dead Pair.
Hey everyone, welcome to the Dead Pair Podcast. I'm your host, Jason Rambo. With me, as always, the guy that's large and in charge.
I like how that sounds.
Well, you know what? You weren't very large and in charge yesterday, buddy. I got to go shoot sporting clays and a new club, new to us, and you had to stay here and make signs.
Yeah, I know. I love it. I have to live vicariously through you, I guess.
I'm going to rub it in every chance I get.
Yeah, so how was the trip?
Oh my gosh, it was awesome. So, all right, everyone, I went to New Albany, Indiana, which is about 10 to 15 minutes west of Louisville, Kentucky, to the sporting club at the farm, which is owned and operated by Bobby Brooks. Wow. I hope I can get a bunch of these pictures up on our YouTube channel for this podcast. The work that they have done there is unbelievable. He was showing me a bunch of before and after photos of the clubhouse and the grounds, and wow. I mean, anybody goes there is in for a real treat.
Yeah, I mean, you've seen quite a bit of the courses around here in Ohio. How does it compare? I mean, what's the terrain like? It's
Hillendale meets Airport Ridge meets Mad River.
Okay. So pretty good mix of terrain then, obviously.
Yeah, there's like, I want to say on the property total, and you'll hear here in a minute. I play the interview. I want to say there's like 40 acres of water right out behind the clubhouse, and as you go up on the hill, there's two more big lakes up there. 740 acres, ton of room, ton of possibilities. It's infinite, the capabilities of the place. And knowing, well, you know what? I don't want to say too much. Let's play this interview. I think you're going to like it, Sean. Bobby has some really cool stuff that he talks about. And I think everybody, if they're in that area, in that vicinity, Tennessee, Kentucky, Ohio, Indiana, West Virginia, I mean, you're really doing yourself a discredit by not checking out this club.
Gotcha.
I know that I will say that, Bobby's the resident instructor, but Bill McGuire is there quite often teaching.
Okay.
So anybody that wants a lesson with Bill McGuire can set that up there at the sporting club at the farm. So.
Okay, cool. And do they do a lot of registered shoots there?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, they do. In fact, the Indiana State's going to be there next year.
Oh, sweet. Well, maybe we can make a trip.
Yeah. Well, to tell you how awesome the club is, they've been open not quite a year, and the association there in Indiana came to him and said, we want to do it here.
Nice.
Yeah.
That says a lot.
Yeah,
that says
exactly.
A lot.
So, but he's done a lot of work. It shows when you're going around. It's like, wow. And then when you go back and he shows you the pictures of what it was like before, it puts it all in perspective. And it's the plans that he has for the place are just above and beyond. Wow. So, but let's play this interview real quick. Real quick commercial break. We'll come right back with Bobby Brooks, straight from the sporting club at the farm in New Albany, Indiana. American-made Atlas traps are made right here in Kansas and feature the finest quality, innovation, and support in the business. Atlas traps are made using aircraft-quality aluminum and stainless steel to ensure your traps will outlast the competition.
So whether you're an individual needing a private trap for practice and recreation, or a club needing to outfit your entire facility, family-owned and operated Atlas Traps can suit all your needs.
Visit atlastraps.com to see the full line of commercial and recreational traps and accessories. With prices that won't make you see red and quality that won't leave you feeling blue, Atlas has the finest equipment available. RE Ranger, you can't hit what you can't see. With 14 clay sight lenses manufactured by Carl Zeiss Vision, Ranger lenses add target clarity and contrast no matter the lighting condition. Visit RERanger.com for all your shooting eyewear needs. Free shipping and returns in the U.S. on orders of $90 or more. And if you use the code DEADPAIR at checkout, you will save 10% off your order. See it further, see it faster, see it with precision with RE Ranger. All right, I am here with Bobby Brooks and Brooke Hollis. Did I say that correctly, Brooke?
Yeah. Vanna White.
Yeah, Vanna White. Bobby is the owner of the sporting club at the farm, and Brooke is the marketing director for the sporting club. Bobby, first of all, for those that don't know who you are, give us just a little bit of your background. Give us the abbreviated history, if you will.
Okay, well, thanks a million, first of all, just for coming out and visiting and shooting with me today. We had a great time, and I greatly appreciate you all bringing Dead Pair podcast to the farm.
Well, we are very honored that you asked us to come out, so I appreciate that.
I'm from here in New Albany, Indiana originally. That's where I grew up. My dad was actually raised on this farm, and as a kid, he brought us out here and fished and swam and camped and shot guns for the first time. So this farm is sentimental, and we got a lot of family history here. Then I moved after college and lived in Tennessee, where I lived about the last 18, 19 years. Raised my family down there, managing farms, and that's where I started shooting competitively. And from there, I shot competitively, registered targets for the last 15, 16 years or something. And got to travel a lot and went to nationals, used some U.S. Opens, and just dabbled in it like everybody else. I've always had a full-time job. But what I did for a living as far as managing big farms and large tracts of land and as a competitive shooter, the last 18 years kind of built me and kind of hardwired me to do this for a living for my own property, for myself. And I always knew with this property, it was a great location, 12 minutes out of downtown Louisville, Kentucky. Lots of hotels, restaurants are great in this area. We have Caesars Casino is 1 mile down the road. So it's a very good location. And out of everywhere that I've traveled personally, always in the back of my mind, I always knew that this was a great spot.
You had mentioned to me earlier today that you originally laid out the plans for this place in 2007.
Yes, sir.
So it took a long time to come to fruition, but you probably learned a lot and probably have done things differently than what you would have done in 2007, correct?
Oh, absolutely. Because I thought it was a great idea and I knew I had a great location, I tried to make it happen a few different times, and tried to force it. But the longer I was in Tennessee and the longer I got to kind of hone my craft and of managing properties and shooting competitively and learning about setting targets and all the opportunities I got to see other clubs. So with my land management and the wildlife habitat and everything that I've done in the past, it just hardwired me to really hone it in and do it right, and thankfully I got to do it for myself here.
It kind of built the perfect storm, if you will.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, Brooke, you told me a funny story. You said you used to sneak into this place years ago. It's absolutely gorgeous piece of property. So how did you come about to be part of this team?
Well, Bobby and them had started a Facebook page. And like I said, I told you, so my day job is I'm a professional photographer, been for 12 years. And I used to sneak on this property when it was run down. There was nobody using it. And it had great buildings, great lakes in the back. And I used to sneak in with clients and take pictures. So just I don't know, one thing, it's just, I think it's all kismet. It's all meant to be. And I saw a video of the farm and I'm like, hey, that's my farm. That's what's going on?
That's where she trespassed.
That's where I trespass. That's my farm. Reached out. Well, I didn't reach out to you yet. The next day on Facebook, Bobby friend requested me.
Oh, nice.
And I'm telling you, it was the weirdest thing. So I reached out, and since then, it's been over a year now. We've been working together and kind of, because I have a special, this farm is special. I mean, it's like you're right in the downtown area of Louisville. It's like right over there in New Albany. And we've got, New Albany is just booming right now. Great restaurants. And this is the perfect venue, going out to the casino to just stop in. And I'm not a shooter, but, the first time I shot with Bobby, he's just so good at teaching you and, get over your sweat pits and shoot.
Yeah.
And it's just so fun. So
Yeah, she
that's
did
mine.
great. I mean, for the first time.
I hit 10 out of 10. It was pretty cool.
Yeah, she had a good experience shooting with her husband one time, and he's an outdoorsman and stuff, but she didn't have a real good experience. She was scared, and so we set her up on a little trap bird, and I stuck an A400 in her hand, my kid's gun, so she got to doing it, and then she liked it. She started. Yeah,
I went home and I told my husband, I was like, I think for Christmas I'd like a shotgun, and he's like, which one you want? And I showed him. He's like, Brooke, that's more than every gun I own. I'm like, oh, that's what I want. Sorry, that's what I want. So
it's funny because Sean and I, the more we start going to more and more new clubs, it seems like each club has its own little niche thing or its own little neat feature that somebody else doesn't have. And when I came here, I was blown away because there's so many awesome features. First of all, this clubhouse, I think you said was built in 1870. Yes. You guys have gone through and totally revamped it. You showed me the pictures. I cannot believe the amount of work you guys have done. But then once you start going around and looking at the course, the enormous ponds that are on this property, the backdrop, the woods, you got a little bit of fields, your bird fields you're working on, and it's like, this is just amazing. I was blown away. I thought we had pretty clubs up home, and you guys have really kind of taken it a step further. So, how many acres again?
Thank you for saying that. It's a labor of love, but the land management side of it is my forte, and I take a lot of pride in that. And everybody thinks it looks beautiful now, but I see 5 years down the road, and I'm like, wait till you see what I see in 5 years.
Right.
So I'm excited about that. The aesthetics of the farm will continue to grow and transition, but I'm excited. It is 740 acres and something that I share and with everybody around. This is not just a gun club. We have 2 archery courses. We have 4 lakes. We have 350 acres of classified forest with beautiful hiking trails, 6 or 8 miles of hiking trails up in the woods. We have one barn that's about 3,700 square feet, or it's the hay barn. Yeah. And then we have an upstairs to do weddings and corporate events, meeting space. It's a 125-year-old barn that's just beautiful. And then we have a event barn that is about 10,000 square feet. And we've done proms and wedding receptions and weddings and QDMA banquets and just all kind of stuff. So this is an event place with a destination with a lot of corporate opportunities to meet and entertain. So I love having our hand in all of it.
Yeah.
And we have an events manager, Jennifer, that she does just the corporate stuff and wedding stuff, and then my wife Lori, of course, she's the boss here day to day and running the pro shop and taking care of the customers, and my partner Jack Cutter, who is he's a younger kid guy that you met today, and he shot with us, but he's learning the trade, and I have 25 years of experience kind of managing these properties, and little Jack's just kind of under my wing, and I'm teaching him to be able to manage these same types of properties.
Well, he's got the go-getter mentality, that's for sure.
He does. He's a hard worker.
Yeah, I can see that. He was very excited looking at different target opportunities as we were going around the course. I'm like, wow, this kid never quits thinking. So, that's what you want.
Yeah, I tease him a lot because he's so analytical. I don't know, stop thinking. I just push him off a cliff. He's like, but I can't fly. I'm like, yes, you can.
So, Brooke, for you, what's been the hardest part about this? Is it trying to portray everything here that there is and try to, picture speaks 1,000 words, but sometimes it takes 1,000 pictures to really show what a property is capable of.
Well,
I can see that as being a struggle.
Totally. And I think another struggle is that we had a meeting today and it was commented on that, not everybody's into guns. And I'm like, we're not just a gun club. We're so much more than just, even if you're not into guns, we're structured in such a way that it's taught so well by Bobby and whoever teaches you, and it's so structured safely, and we're just more than a gun club. I'm trying to get that across to the community that we're not a bunch of bumpkins, and all is welcome. And there's archery, like you said, hiking. We're going to hopefully get some more outdoor kids coming, involved, inner city kids. So that's the main thing. I feel like it's hard to get our name out there of just not being a gun club. We're so much more, because you've seen the property. We're so much more than just a gun club.
And I'll tell you, she hit the nail on the head there with the kids program, because honestly, once we get the business running as a well-oiled machine, that's my goal, of course, but we have to pay the bills and keep the lights on. But my heart and my why is in the kids programs. And I coach a scholastic shooting team for kids here, and we have a scholastic 3D archery team for kids here. And so we've got kids from all over southern Indiana and Louisville that's coming in here and shooting with us. So we've already got a good team. We've had some immediate success this year. All my shooters are first year shooters, and
they're so good.
They are.
They're so good to be first year.
We had a 10th grader win the state, and then I had a 6th, 8th grade team win the state.
Wow.
So our first year out. So
and a lot of them, I'll interview when we do a shooter spotlight on all the kids. We're going to try to do all the kids. And I'm like, how long have you been shooting? Oh, this is the first time I've ever. And I'm like, goodness gracious. It's very impressive. So to see the kids kind of start to now, it's really fun. I think that's one of my favorite things is the kids to come in.
Sean and I are really big on youth shooting. It's like, love, or hate it, it's the future of the sport. Absolutely. It really is. And I still get the biggest thrill of helping a kid, and I'm nowhere your level, Bobby, but helping a kid they break that target and they turn around and got this huge smile on their face. You'd think you just give him, half of a toy store or something.
You bet. And I love it.
It's cool to see, for sure.
It's very rewarding.
So you already have some big plans for next year. Can you let that cat out of the bag yet? Can you tell everybody? Or
it's what I'm working on. But right now, out of the gate, we're supposed to have the Indiana State Championships next year. And this is our first year being open, but it is a nice place. And they called me and said, "Hey, there's a lot of people that would like to see the Indiana State there next year." And so in our second year into business, we're going to. I'm finalizing that. I'm working through that. We had some restrictions in the county that we're working through, and I'm just finalizing it to utilize the rest of my property, because the restriction with the 300-yard restriction is kind of really crazy. That they would put that on us. And that restriction was that we couldn't shoot 300 yards within any boundary, any roadway or any property line. So it was
that takes a ton of real estate.
It does take a ton of real. So we said, look, let's just get open. Let's get our course set up in the middle. We can shoot. We can show them who we are and what we do. And it's really been well. And we started off in our first year, and they have a change of heart, So we're going back to try to get that restriction lifted the first week of September, and Lord willing, everything goes well, and that gets approved, and then we can hold some big shoots here.
Yeah. So as far as when we kind of skipped over some of the stuff, you have fishing, you have archery, like Brooke said, you're going to have some hiking, some other outdoor events. On the sporting clay side, right now, you've got a 100-bird course that has 3 up to 4 targets per station. Right. And you've been talking, you're looking into splitting that. What is your plans in the short and long-term future for the club as far as all your amenities for shooting?
Well, immediately, as soon as we get through this planning and zoning meeting in September, if things go well there, we're going to split our course in half. Then we're going to have we're going to have a woods course, of course. Woods course, of course.
Dr. Seuss.
And then everybody's got a woods course. So we're going to have a woods course, and that'll be a 12 13 station course. And then down here along the bottoms, to drive along the lakes, we'll have a open field course. And that way, I don't have to really be restricted. I can have a corporate event going on and keep another course open to the public. Right now, I kind of have to do a balancing act, whether are we going to be able to throw enough targets to shut the course down for your corporate event, or are we going to have your corporate event and have some public shooting going on?
Right.
So I really need to split that to try to keep everybody happy. And it's tough to do, but I really try to keep everybody happy in this business and try to. We are in the entertainment business.
Right.
So the more opportunities they have to shoot in different locations and keeping fresh targets changed, we do our best, and we're learning as we go as a new, business.
And you have a 5-stand now, where you said you were possibly looking into 2 5-stands.
Correct. Because I want to keep one for, different levels. I'd like an easy powder puff 5-stand because we do a lot of entertainment with corporate groups and new shooters. So I like to have a bunch of easy targets and little track birds to introduce shooters to the sport. And when you have some corporate type shooters or some novice shooters or kids, I want to put them on targets where they're going to get that immediate gratification and get that big grin on their face and have fun.
Yeah.
So, but also I need another 5-stand so I can have some challenging targets and kind of some big boy stuff.
So you're the resident instructor.
Yes, sir.
But you said
Bill McGuire.
Bill McGuire is your resident pro instructor, and you said he was here roughly every quarter?
He's been here 4 times now, 3 or 4 times, and Bill's very close to me, man. I love Bill. He's like my brother. My kids call him Uncle Bill, and so we've been, and everything really. I mean, I used to travel when I was shooting more. When I lived in Tennessee, I went a lot with Bill, and thankfully, I learned everything I really know from Bill, and he's just a very good friend of mine, and my kids call him Uncle Bill, and it's just he likes to hunt and fish together, and
right.
So he's going to spend some time up here, and hopefully make that his home course to where people can fly into Louisville and come to shoot with Bill here.
Very cool.
He was here just a couple weeks ago, and before he went to the northeast or north central regions. And then he's going to come back next month in September and do some teaching and some dove hunting. And so,
awesome.
we're very fortunate to have him here, or going to be coming in and teaching with us.
Brooke, tell everyone, okay, you're on Facebook.
Facebook, Instagram, sort of on Twitter.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't know what that is.
Yeah, and then your website.
Our farm website is thefarmsc.com. So it's the Farm Sporting Club, abbreviated.com.
I drove in from up in Ohio, and I came right through Louisville, and I think from there it was about 15 minutes, 20 minutes. Mm-hmm. And you were telling me some numbers of hotels down the road here. I was blown away by the number of rooms. First of all, the hotels, or the casino and hotel has 500, and then
they're a mile down the road.
They're right.
Caesars Casino has 500 rooms, and then downtown Louisville, to the KFC Yum Center, Jeff Ruby Steakhouse, everywhere downtown right there, is 12 minutes to downtown from door to door, and there's 80,000 hotel rooms within a 30-minute radius of right here.
Great food.
Great food. New Albany's booming, like Brooke said. It's booming. Louisville's great. They got a lot of great restaurants downtown.
Well, this is perfect for me because I have the wife drop me off here while she goes down to the casino.
Absolutely.
And I can shoot all day and not spend as much money as she will at the casino and not get in trouble.
She may hit it. She may hit that jackpot and bring home $30,000.
Oh.
Yes.
But no, it really is cool because there's something here for everyone. So, Bobby, you still do a monthly registered tournament, correct?
Yes, sir. We do them once a month, and our next one is September 4th and 5th, then October 1st and 2nd, and then another one in November sometime. But, yeah, absolutely. We have a monthly tournaments. And
you're on Score Chaser, correct?
We are, yes, sir.
Okay, good deal. Any closing thoughts?
I don't think so. If you guys want to know more about our events, we do list them on our website and Facebook. Again, just come see us. Always open for a tour. Bobby loves to give the tour.
I do love to give tours. Because you know what? I truly love to share this place. It's been a dream come true, and it's a blessing to kind of live and do what you love, to coach the kids and new shooters. And So it is a blessing to have the opportunity to work in the great outdoors and to teach the sport. That's our hobby.
That's right.
We're in the fun having business.
Well, you have a lot to be proud of here for sure.
Thank you very much.
It's definitely a cool destination, and like I said before, the best part of this is I got to come see it, check it out, and Sean had to work. So
we just want to encourage everybody to come and visit. And there's a lot more to do here than just shoot clay targets. There's lots to do here at the farm: archery and fishing and hiking. And but the area is great. The restaurants are great. The casino's right here and downtown Louisville. So it's a great place to visit with lots to do.
Well, thank you both very much for spending some time with me. Thank you for inviting us down, be on the show. And again, if you guys have anything coming up in the future you want to announce, just get a hold of us. We'll get you on, even if it's only for a couple minutes. We'll definitely include you. So
that's awesome. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Sean. That interview with Bobby. I wish I'd have spent more time with him. There's just so much more there to talk about.
Well, I'm glad you finally got to get out there. I mean, you've been talking to him for a while now, and finally your schedule's meshed, and you're able to get there. You were selling something off the air about a water presentation you were working on. What was with that?
I don't know if I want to give the cat away or let the cat out of the bag, as they say. But basically, we've all seen targets that are thrown at the water. Whether it's a batu and then it flips upright, and then Have you ever seen a target presentation where the thrower is in the middle of the lake firing at you across the water? Yeah. So this is, he's working out the details of it because for a registered tournament, it has to be, the trap can't be moving, right? So he's trying to figure out the details. And I don't want to get, I might be saying too much now, but this is the kind of innovative thinking
sounds unique.
I mean, I'm telling you, and it was funny because, and you heard me mention that in the interview that, his partner, Jack, he went out, we shot around together, and he's still just the whole time, he can't even think about his own shooting. He's thinking about, man, I wonder if I could throw this target from over here and over there and across. It's like, wow.
Well, that's a good guy to have on the staff then if he's trying to scheme and figure out stuff. So
absolutely. And, even though he's new and he's learning, Bobby's taught him a ton in a real short manner, and you could see it. I mean, he's a go-getter. But the vision that Bobby has for the place, that's going to be a really big destination shoot.
Well, that's awesome to have another club so close. I mean, what was your drive time like over there?
From here it was 4 hours.
That's not terrible.
So, no, it's not terrible.
No.
In a car that doesn't ride like a log wagon, probably could have done a little quicker.
Sure.
But, when you're cruising down the road in a 3/4 ton with 35-inch tires, it's like, okay, let's just back this down a little bit. So, but with that, you get a monster deep. Next thing you know, you're looking for an exit, right? So,
right.
But anyway, no, it was so worth the drive. I was really excited to get there, and then I really didn't want to go home. I mean, of course, I wanted to go home, but I didn't want to leave that place. It was so much fun. So hats off to everybody at the sporting club at the farm. Thank you for having us down and including us and thinking about us. We really appreciate it.
Yeah, nice. I'm looking forward to maybe trying to make the journey down there myself.
Yeah. Well, hey, we have got Kevin DeMichiel on hold for questions for the coaches.
Well, let's get to him then.
We've got some really good questions, and this segment is brought to you by Bear Pelt. At Bear Pelt, it's not just your vest, it's your new uniform. All right, for this segment, of questions for the coaches, we have Kevin DeMichiel. What's up, Kev?
What's going on, guys?
Oh, shoot, man, we're ready to roll with this.
Taking it as easy as we can.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, Kevin, we had a ton of questions come in, and so all of you out there that sent questions, if we didn't pick your two, no worries. Kevin's going to be back on again in the future. We're going to save every one of those questions, and I'm sure we'll corner him at some point for every one of them. But
absolutely,
Kevin, we picked two at random. If you're ready, we'll roll with it.
All right, let's go.
All right. So the first question comes from Bill, and he asks, in the past, I know you have experimented with different types of barrels, a.k.a. parkours, mid-ribs, high ribs. What were your biggest takeaways, and what would you recommend to someone who is going through this stage of his or her shooting?
Okay. All right, let's start with the first part. Okay. I've shot all the barrels that Krieghoff offers, the parkour, the sporter, and the pro sporter. I originally started out shooting the pro sporter because I think I've talked about this before. Back when I shot my automatics, we put on DeVault aftermarket ribs on top of them. I've always liked the high rib because visually I can see the bird better. Now, that's me speaking. That's for me, okay?
Right.
As far as when I demoed or actually I had a parkour, I'm a pretty big guy. I weigh 240 pounds, 6'2", and that parkour to me was a little whippy on the front end. It was too quick for me, and I had a tendency of not being able to control the target very well. So the parkour was definitely not the fit for me. A couple of years ago, year and a half ago, I swapped from the Pro Sporter to the Sporter barrel, which is not really a true flat rib. It's got a little ramp to it, and I like the gun. Okay, I really did. The problem with it, I was so used to being head up that a lot of times I was running into lifting my head to see the results or not getting in the gun well enough, and birds that were pretty quick, where I had to start in the gun, say trap birds, that sort of stuff. I had trouble seeing around it. And that's just because of, literally I've shot hundreds of thousands of rounds through that high rib. So I eventually went back to the high rib, and that's what I'm shooting right now. So his question, what do you recommend to someone? Okay, I would recommend going to one of these shoots where these guns are available and demoing all of them. Okay, there's a reason they make these different guns, because it's just like, the difference between driving a truck and a car. There's not a wrong or right answer. Some people like trucks, some people like cars. Okay, so same thing with the guns. The parkour is quick on the front end. So, maybe somebody that's not as big as I am, maybe a lady or a smaller guy or that sort of thing that has trouble moving the heavier guns, that gun will work a lot better for them. The flat rib guys want to shoot the sporter. It's got a little more weight out in front of it. They can control it a little better. So I think it's kind of one of those things where you need to go out and test drive them and really decide, which one works best for you before you go out and make a commitment buying one.
Right.
Gotcha. Yeah. So, yeah, that's my little deal with different guns and stuff. So,
Okay.
Yeah, definitely give them a test run.
Gotcha. Now, Kevin, just to follow up on that question, would you look at somebody like, say somebody comes from a hunting background? Most hunting guns are flat rib. So if that's what they're used to, would you generally tell a student to go into that kind of gun if they go into a target gun? Or
Absolutely. If they come from a background shooting a flat rib, I would not try to influence them to go to a high rib just because I shoot one.
Gotcha.
Now, if they were, if they wanted to venture out and try it and they may like it better, I'm not against that either. But obviously both theories work. I mean, you look at, Gavin, Karen, McGuire, all those people have won big stuff with high ribs. And then you look at Anthony, Zach, Corey, Derek, they all shoot flat ribs and they've won their share too. So there's not a right or wrong answer. But yeah, if somebody comes to me after been shooting 2 or 3 years and they've shot a flat rib the whole time, I would definitely not try to get them off that. If they told me, hey, I'd like to try it, I would let them shoot my gun or get a demo for them and let them try it and see if it was better or worse. So,
Gotcha.
Yeah, it's just all an experiment until you find out what you like.
Gotcha. Okay. All right.
Yeah.
So the second question, Connor writes, what is the reason for shooting a hot load, and how do you advise your students on choosing a load? I know that you're notoriously an ounce and an eighth guy because you're cool like that. And my question comes from seeing more shooters starting to shoot 1 ounce loads.
Yeah. So the funny answer would be that I shoot ounce and eighth because they won't let me shoot ounce and a quarter. So on a serious note, again, that's a little bit of a personal preference thing. The reason I do it, again, that's what I started out with, shooting ounce and eighth. So really hundreds of thousands of rounds of ounce and eighth gone through the gun. I'm not a recoil sensitive guy. I actually like the recoil as part of my move. And with an ounce and eighth, for me, I like the way they hit targets. Okay. So the way I feel about it is if you do your job with an ounce and eighth shell, not saying a 1 ounce won't do it, But with an 1.8 ounce shell, you do your job, it'll smoke the target, okay, which I think builds confidence. When you have confidence, that builds a good round, okay?
Yeah.
I've tried the 1 ounce deal. I went 1 year, I shot 1 ounce, and just always had that thought in the back of my mind, you know, could I hit that bird a little harder or this, that, and the other. As far as what I would recommend or how to pick out a shell, especially with the younger people, I would not push 1.8 ounces on them. You want them to be comfortable. You want them to be able to handle the recoil and keep it fun for them. You don't want somebody to go shoot 100 targets and be beat up at the end of the day and have a huge bruise and that sort of thing.
Right.
So I would say, you know, pick a shell that you have confidence in, that you feel like performs, and you like the way it breaks targets, most importantly. But don't, you know, just because I shoot 1.8 ounces or Zach shoots 1.8 ounces doesn't mean you have to shoot 1.8 ounces. Shoot what's comfortable to you and that's manageable, where you can go through a whole round and the end of it, you still feel pretty good. You can go shoot a 5 stand or something after that. If you're a bigger guy, you can handle the recoil. You know, you got a few more BBs out there and they hammer targets. So that's why I shoot 1.8 ounces. But as far as advising somebody what to pick, they need to pick a comfortable shell that, you know, doesn't rock them. And especially on like a bang bang pair, when you're shooting, you don't want that gun to knock you out of the second shot where you can't get to it. Right. So, you know, pick a comfortable shell that doesn't knock you on your butt and, you know, have fun with it.
Well, Kevin, in that same regards, speed plays a lot with that too, right? I mean, because I know I shot an 1.8 ounce load a couple years ago here, but it was a slow 1.8 ounce load.
Right.
I think Karen Shed shoots like an 1165, if I'm saying that correctly. So maybe they can run that 1.8 ounce if they just want to run a lighter speed. Is that correct, or do you still recommend staying pretty quick?
Yeah. You could still get a light 1.8 ounce load. Okay, but in reference to the 1 ounce, if it's that same speed with the 1 ounce, it's going to be even softer, right?
Right.
So it's kind of a personal preference thing. And I think Karen shoots that B&P 1 ounce 1160, I'm pretty sure. She shoots a slow shell, 1 ounce, but she hammers stuff with it. And in my opinion on speed, okay, I like speed for everything, duck hunting, all that kind of stuff. That's just what I do. All right. I like the way when it hits a target, it really pounds it. But what I feel is like more important than that is you get in tune with the speed and a certain shell. And that's why I always tell people, if you can, practice with what you're going to shoot in the tournament, because you really get in tune with that shell. Okay. You really get in tune with it. I can tell if I switch shells, it's going to take me 2 or 3 cases to really find the center of the bird and get dialed in with it. So even if you've got to swap shells, try to keep it around the same speed. Okay. But yeah, you can get some 1.8 ounce shells that don't, you can get some 1.8 ounce 1160s that don't kick that bad. But again, it's all back to a personal preference and being comfortable with that shell and being comfortable how they hit targets.
Sure.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I know a friend of ours, JD, he's just like you. He shoots 1.8 ounce because they won't let him shoot a 3-inch mag with, but
right. Well, it's kind of like this. It's kind of like FTASC. Okay. The limit is 1 ounce. Right. Well, how many people do you see shooting 7/8? None.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So I'm going to get all I can get, right? Going to get all I can get.
But I'll never forget, I asked Eister about this 3 years ago, and he said, he goes, with some people, they have to feel that recoil. They have to feel that for some reason or another. If they're not getting that little bit of oomph in the shoulder, they feel like they're not hitting the target hard enough. And
I agree with that. I totally agree with that. I think once you've shot enough of them, it's part of your move. Okay. It's part of your move. And I'll be honest with you, people that shoot those shells, when you watch them shoot and they have a bad shell, okay, it doesn't go off, you can see how it's built in their move because they're driving forward with it. Yeah. They're not sitting there and letting the gun kick them. I promise you. When they get a bad shell, you're going to see that little move forward. So it's definitely built into the move for sure. Absolutely.
That's awesome, Kevin. I appreciate you coming on and talking to us about that. We'll be talking soon.
Absolutely.
We got, like I said, man, we had a ton of questions. I put it out there. I want to say I did that Tuesday, and the amount of texts, emails, direct messages, it was insane. So
awesome.
We're going to get you back on because people like hearing from you. Yep. So
everybody likes to hear from you.
Okay. Well, good. Absolutely. Y'all call me anytime. I'll be ready.
Thanks,
All right, Kevin. Have a good night.
Appreciate it, bud.
All right. See y'all. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Kevin's always great to have on, isn't he?
Yeah, and he's very popular with our listeners. They like to ask questions, and they want to know what's going on with Kevin.
I bet you between the comments on Facebook and Instagram, plus the direct messages between those two, plus the emails, I bet you I know we're north of 40 anyway, and it was like, wow, really? I mean, geez.
Guy's got a lot of good info. People want to know.
Yeah. I think Kevin's just, his character, people, kind of like naturally latch to him.
Absolutely.
So, hey, listen, speaking of that, I want to give a big shout out to Justin Barker. Justin Barker paid us a huge compliment on Facebook on our last podcast, and that really meant a lot, and I really appreciate that from Justin.
Yep.
Anybody that doesn't know who I'm talking about, that's Justin Barker from Shotgun Sports USA. He runs an excellent podcast. Check it out if you have some spare time. But thanks, Justin. Appreciate it. We really kind of enjoy working with each other and feeding off of each other. It's been fun.
Yeah, you could say we're in the same boat, just paddling on different sides.
Yeah, exactly. I think, I said it in the beginning, I think all these podcasts are relevant.
Absolutely.
What Dave and Kaylee do, I know they've been on a long break because of getting their club ready, but they'll be back.
Yep.
But what they do and what Justin does and what we do, all of our mission statements are different, but they're all relevant and they're all helpful. And I think as a shooter, you're doing yourself a disservice by not listening to all of them,
right?
As much as you can. I understand it's not easy to listen to 3 different podcasts a week, but there's good information on all of them.
Absolutely, couldn't have said it better.
But moving on. We've got some really interesting guests, some very informative guests coming up.
Yeah, a lot of stuff in the pipeline. Still got some big shoots to go for the year. Obviously, the Nationals is in the back of our mind. Going to do a little shooting around here. I think there's a few more shoots in Ohio we're going to hit. And then the Jack Links tournament's coming up next year, so we're going to be looking forward to that in February. So
yeah, what a huge purse! I think it's $150,000.
Yeah, it's kind of unheard of, and
that's awesome.
People are going to be coming out of the woodwork for that, I'm sure.
Yeah.
So.
Well, and there's a lot of people that listen. So if we could give a little bit of advice, take it with a grain of salt or not. Go to a shoot like this, and you may be thinking, "Oh man, I'm not going to be able to compete with those guys, and all the big dogs are going to be there." No.
Yeah,
you need to go and check the shoot out, enjoy it for the experience of what it is, and
possibly do it as a vacation. You know what I mean? Like do it if you're going. I mean, let's face it. If you're from the Midwest or the Northeast, and a shoot in February in Florida, probably not going to be. You're not going to be missing a lot. Let's put it this way.
I don't think that's going to be a terrible time to be down there in Florida in February.
No, and we all need a little break from the cold. So,
right.
I mean, don't necessarily look at it as I'm just going to shoot. It's a vacation. Maybe take the family. You go shoot for a couple days. Wife and kids go hit the beach. I mean, we've done it.
That's what we're planning on doing.
Right, exactly. So, I mean, don't get yourself too narrow-minded about it. I mean, whether it's a regional, whether it's a state shoot, whether it's one of these big shoots like the Gator Cup or this Jack Links Cup or what have you, it's always good to go out there and see what this sport's all about. It's really kind of awe-inspiring when you go to one of these big shoots and you see all these names that you read about in the magazines, and they're driving right next to you in their buggy, or they're walking right past you, at the banquet hall or in the food court. It's really neat.
But as we've discussed, save the shaking the hand and wanting to introduce yourself to after the shoot.
shooting.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and to that note, a reminder to everybody: make sure you get somebody new out shooting. Hey, let's do what we all talk about: make people come to this sport, show them how much fun it is, and hopefully gain some new members.
Yes, for sure. And thank you to our sponsors: Game Boy, Negrini, RE Ranger, Atlas Traps, and Bear Pelt. Really appreciate everyone supporting us. It's been an honor and a humbling experience to work with each and every one of you. Listen, guys and gals, these are products that we believe in. Sean and I use each and every one of these products personally, and it means a lot to us that we enjoyed using those products. We believed in those products before they even came on board with us, and now that they are on board, we couldn't be more ecstatic. I mean,
yeah, absolutely.
It's very, very humbling. So,
absolutely. Well, I mean, I guess we pretty much come to the end of this one.
You think?
Well, maybe. That was a good episode. I hope. I just wish I could have gone with you, I guess, is my only caveat.
This is the best part of it is I got to go shoot clays and you were stuck here working. I loved it.
We've had to do it a couple times. I mean, I went to the Gator Cup without you. You went to the Florida State shoot without me. So these things are going to happen.
Yeah.
But we are both going to the Nationals together. So
yes.
For any of you guys going down there, you'll definitely be able to catch up with us.
You're just counting the days to the rematch on the make or break, aren't you?
Yeah. Well, we can definitely do that down there.
I think so. As long as I think they do have a make or break down there.
Probably.
And
if not, we'll find one because I know everybody wants to see who's going to be the overall winner of the Dead Pair Shoot-Off.
Yeah. Shout out to Scott Hitch. We need your recording capabilities because Chad's too short. Oh, did I say that? Was that on the air?
Oh, Lord.
Was that is that red button lit?
You're going to get a call here in a minute.
And thank you to Chad Roberts from Breakpoint Shooting. We appreciate your support as well.
Absolutely. Well, I guess that's it, guys. Catch us next time here on the Dead Pair Podcast.